Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. That's able to hear my voice, and I hope I'm coming through nice and clear. I'm coming up later than I usually come up, even though I've been saying that I will be coming up earlier. But I felt it necessary to go live tonight because in my thumbnail you will see Mountain Man is warned. I got a warning. And also something I wanted to bring up last night, but I didn't. I had so many things in my studio. I was going to encourage you all to watch a Seminole trial that happened today, and it's mostly concluded. And I've talked about it in the past. A trial of one of the Adelson family members, in this case, the matriarch, Ma Barker Donna, uh, had a comeuppance today. And it was a, excuse me. Sorry about that. I had a frog in my throat since yesterday, but she had a swift and brutal verdict today, which is what I expected. And we'll talk about that, and I'll talk about what happened with my warning. I am a whisker away from being suspended, and I'm going to talk about that. That's why I came live tonight. Colette, how are you doing? Darla, nice to see you. Robin's here. Andrew's here. Sherry, nice to see you. Oh, Darla's been watching the trial. Rain, how are you? Marla, nice to see you. Anybody else kept an eye on that trial or the numerous trials of the notorious Adelson family? Kim, nice to see you. Miss Mendersu. Nice to see you all. It is such a tragic story. So many lives altered and in some cases destroyed. Children being raised without their parents. And but it is the unfortunate consequences when you choose evil, an evil path for your own sense of self-worth, your own pride, your arrogance. And I was thinking many times over the years watching these trials and learning about what happened. I put in my thumbnail also, the big club is shaking. The big club shakes. These people were part of the big club. They're part of this sub army of the big club. And I'll give you my analysis on that. I watched the people in the gallery behind Ma Adelson. I don't need a lecture on how they vote, what they believe in. Politically connected, social butterflies, wealthy people that thought they could get away with murder. And they almost did. They almost did. Hi, Pappy Two Bears, nice to see you. Debbie, nice to see you. Flannel Cheese. Ha ha ha, everybody's coming in, that's good. Do you all see when I scroll down? Do you all see comments or anything? Sherry, nice to see you. Who's been watching the Adelson trial? I will ask that Because last night I was going to mention, if you're interested in this type of thing, I was going to say that today was going to be a dramatic day. And if you are interested or know about this case, you're not going to want to miss it. And that's exactly what happened. It was a dramatic day that you don't want to miss. Adrian, nice to see you. Brett, nice to see you. Haha. Yeah, just say hi, everyone. Yeah, I'll go into a live stream and one of my viewers will be in there, or 3 or 4 viewers. And when I'm listening to live stream, sometime I've got my phone in my pocket, my headphones on, and I'm doing things, and I don't see the comments. And people say, "Hi, Mountain Man! Hi, Mountain Man!" And I guess maybe people get mad at it if I don't respond, but I don't even know they're typing to me. But when I do see that, I say, "Hi, everybody." So, I mean, that's all you can do, really. So anyway, what happened? I got a notice on my Gmail and in my YouTube studio that my video was removed, taken down. And I got a warning. And I know how this works. You know how I know? Because I've been warned, and I've had strikes, and I've had videos taken down dozens of times. Well over a dozen. And I felt it coming. I felt it coming. Which video was it? I'll tell you all. YouTube removed your content. Oh my. It looks like cartel boat boom. Know thine enemy. Nadler gone. Epstein dump. The show must go on. Didn't follow our community guidelines. To help keep our community safe, we removed it from YouTube. Now this came at 9:20 or 9:30 in the morning. And my past experience has been that it's usually around 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 4 o'clock. I was talking about 4 o'clock talking points. I said, isn't it odd when I get in trouble, it's at 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, this time they did it at 9:30 in the morning. Yeah, I find it odd. Because like I said, I've had these messages many, many times. And the next time it happens, I'll be off the air for a week. I have to review. I did a partial review because the video is on Bumble. And the channel on Bumble is called, all one word, Mountain Man Speaks. If anything happens to me, that will be my Alamo. And I have to say that on this platform, I will upload later to Bumble. I can't simulcast with this platform. But the other platform, I kept getting kicked out. And I knew that there's something wrong. What was it, 3 times on 2 different videos? My one last night and one the night before. The one they took down was the one the night before last. It's gone off of YouTube. No, they're not removing my videos from Bumble. I just can't. I can't simulcast in this format. But it doesn't get taken down like what's been happening on the other format. So I can appeal it. At 2:09, they claim I put misinformation up because I suspected. See, I watched it on Rumble, but again, the broadcasts get delayed. There's stretches of silence and freezing screens that you don't see with other creators. Maybe it's because I'm in the mountains. I don't know. Justin, how you doing? So anyway, what I played was the video of John Brennan talking about how Donald Trump, all he's got to do is say things, how much damage he can cause people, and how much money he can cost them, how much he can cost them in their reputation just for saying things. And then I played the clip that I played 50 times on this channel with a picture of Brennan accusing Trump of committing treason after he met with Putin in Helsinki. And they claimed that I tried to make it seem like that was a current statement by John Brennan. I don't see how they get that. It's words that came out of John Brennan's mouth. It's a montage of videos. Like when I play, the walls are closing in on Trump. The walls are closing in on Donald Trump. Donald Trump can feel the walls closing in by all kinds of people. I play that montage. Will I get in trouble when I play video montages? Because the one after that, Brennan video, was the guy saying, Trump can't be reelected. We can't allow it to happen. He's a threat to our democracy, blah, 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 and he needs to be eliminated. It's words that came out of his mouth. So I can't play those anymore because somebody will think that's current statements. What the hell does it matter? They said it. They accused Trump of being a Russian agent. They accused him of treason. They said he had to be eliminated. I can't play those? Oh, that's in the past? Or somebody pushes a button and takes my video down. Next time I put up something to remind them of the crimes they committed, they'll take me down for a week. But they also have the option of permanently removing my channel, which they've done. They removed my channel, my first channel, and took down hundreds of videos and threw them in the cyber trash pail. Most of them I saved on Rumble. Not all, but most of them. But I had time during the day, during a break in the infamous Adelson trial, to review the video that they removed from UTizzle. And it just so happened to be the video where I did a mountain man quiz. Hi, Ivan, how you doing? Some of you may not have been. Hi, Wayne. Some of you may not have been around for the mountain man quiz that I gave that night. The mountain man quiz was who did I predict would be incarcerated for the remainder of their life or a significant number of years. And it would be done on the QT and their reputation would be saved. But I felt that he was giving material assistance to the white hats in capturing these criminals that we've been dealing with? And the answer was Robert Mueller. That's the video they took down. Because I said over a year ago that I felt Robert Mueller was helping. He was the angel in the room during the Mueller report compilation. He was up against people like Andrew Weissman, Mr. Sweaty Man, and others who were working behind the scenes with Lisa Monaco, all adversaries of Donald J. Trump. And the report came out before the world to be a nothing burger. Now, if Robert Mueller had lost his mind or been not in command of his faculties during that time, do you think he'd been able to navigate that? Do you think he would have been able to produce a report that would not cause tumult in the body politic? No. I posit to you that he was on the top of his game. But he still had to answer for things he's done in the past. Things he'd been pulled into or volunteered for, who knows, with the swamp. But as a former Marine, and probably being shown the errors of his ways and given an escape hatch, he took it. That is my theory, my cogitations on the matter. And that's what I discussed, and that video no longer exists. Rebecca, nice to see you. Debbie's here. How many Debbies do I got? Just one? Let me see. Can't have too many Debbies, I say. So anyway, I haven't completely reviewed the video. If you would like to see it, it's on Mountain Man Speaks, all one word, on Rumble. You tell me why they took it down. Was it the thumbnail of Tim Walsh? A complete piece of you-know-what? Or a combination? Where I laid out what Brendan has said, what happened with Bob Mueller, Tim Walsh as a complete piece of S. And I said also that it's just a matter of time. Arrests are coming. And I'm no longer freaking out over this, that, oh, I forgot to mention this. Oh my goodness, what about that? Because we're on the march. We're taking it back. That's my thumbnail. The little boys on the street putting MAGA on the side of a building while the streets are in turmoil. If I had my thumbnail to do it over again, I put, we're taking it all back. They're going to announce, if they haven't already, a large-scale ICE operation in Chicago where the insurrectionists are. Some of them. It's a stronghold. Illinois. I've talked about it many times. I've talked about it for years. Conservatives have talked about it for decades. And it was blatantly obvious. Way back in the 1960s, early 1960s, when the Daily Machine in Chicago, Illinois, threw the election from Richard M. Nixon to Robert F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. John Kennedy. And it's been corrupt ever since. It's been a blue scar on the electoral map. And the only reason it's been that way is because of the corrupt actions and the stranglehold that the big club has on that state. Well, it's getting ready to get broken up. It's getting ready to be broken up. And like that one prosecutor, remember that? I put that up. He said, it doesn't matter to me. I've been to jail before. Some of us need to go to jail. Telling that, a prosecutor is telling that to the citizens of his state to do things that will put them in jail. He said a short time in jail. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. So anyway, look for the corrupt daily machine to be obliterated. Sissy said, hi, miss. Let's see, Adelson is here. Oh, it must be talking about Miss Mindersue. I wonder if I missed somebody named Miss. Ha 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 ha. 2 Debbies and 1 Adelson. All right. That's a full house. That's a royal flush. So, yeah, remember the wives. Oh, we'll get to them. That's just part of their money laundering. Hi, Yvonne. That is just facilitating their money laundering. It's also facilitating their interagency conspiracy. Somebody works for the government, their wife works for NBC or ABC or whatever, and they all get the narrative together after they've been given their marching orders with 4 a.m. talking points from, I suspect, some foreign source. And I always keep in the back of my mind that Hermann Göring, the highest ranked surviving member of the Third Reich, his crime was defrauding the German people from the control of their own government. And that was sufficient enough of many things, one of many things, but it called for him to face the maximum penalty. Elva, nice to see you. So remember that, folks. We're dealing with these connivances and contrivances for what? For their power. For their power. And who, you watch that video, they said the 209 mark is when I made it appear that somebody said something in the present that they really said in the past. When I did a montage of clips where Donald Trump was being attacked, and John Brennan was one of them, and another one, I guess he was a congressman, which I play over and over again to remind people of what they've been doing to Donald Trump and the American people for the last 10 years. They ain't going to stop me. I'll have to be, maybe a little creative and put some dates on some videos or something. I don't know. But it's definitely eggshell territory. So the rules of the game are that if they find another violation like that, it'll be a strike, and I'm gone for a week. And that could happen tonight. I don't know. I played that clip a lot. Somebody's protecting Mr. Brennan. Who happens to be a Muslim, who happens to be a former card-carrying member of the Communist Party, and how the hell he ended up director of the CIA, I got no idea. Yes, he was a member of the Communist Party and proud of it. Now he says it was youthful indiscretion. But he also thinks that Allah is the one true God, which is the same thing inscripted on Barack Hussein Obama's ring. So I guess I got to be careful what I say about these people, right? Or they just shut me up. Even though it's not a damn thing I'm saying that isn't the truth. And it's their words I'm playing. And it doesn't matter when they said it. They said it. I'm not imitating them. I'm not making an AI video with a fake voice. It's their voice. It's the sound I recovered from videos that were removed when Trump was returning from his summit with Putin and the press conference he had with Putin. The things they were saying about Donald Trump being a Russian agent and a traitor to this country. And those videos disappeared, but I had the audio. No, I thought about that too, Miss Sue. I very, very, very seldom get somebody in there arguing with me. Well, they're being dummies, but they can shut me down. I had a whole nother setup. I can't get into it, but I was upset. You all probably remember that broadcast where somebody gave out some confidential, and it wiped out my other device that I used in a surreptitious manner. That got linked back to me, and it got wiped out while I was holding it in my hand. From the ether, from space, or wherever the hell they did it from. They got on my phone and wiped it all out. And it no longer works. Then you don't think they can do that? So anyway, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? No, I don't think so. But you know what? Today was symbolic. Today was symbolic. I'm going to ask you again. Put a thumbs up if you have knowledge of or have been watching the cases involving the assassination of Dan Markel by members of his his ex-wife's in-laws, and I guess that'd be it, and some people from the wrong side of the track. Have you any knowledge of that? Please put a thumbs up, and if you have, because if you're not aware of this situation, it's a big deal, and it's being watched around the world. It's a drama that you see being played out to this level, maybe once in a couple of decades. I mean, today's trial that lasted a week and a half. I don't know how long it lasted, but I mean, it's like the Lindbergh trial or something like that. Well, I'll tell you what you do. There's an attorney with a show, and I've talked about her in the past. Her name is Lawyer Lee. Lawyer Lee. She did all-day coverage today and other days of the entire trial. I don't expect you to watch the entire trial. But today, if you go on her broadcast, you'll see the closing arguments. It was set up like a TV show today. And like I said, I was going to mention it to you all last night to watch it if you got a chance. Lawyer Lee. She used to be named Harvard Lawyer Lee, but she removed Harvard from it because she didn't want any conflicts. So it's just Lawyer Lee now. You watch the closing arguments of the case. And this story, in summary, was this man was married to a high maintenance child, spoiled, but at the same time, very controlled by a domineering mother. He married her, took her hand in marriage, and they had 2 children. The kids were, I guess, a year and a half, 2 years old, and his wife, the spoiled child with a domineering mother, decided she wanted a divorce. And it was bitter. The mother was demanding that the children be relocated to South Florida, 3 hours from the formerly marital home in Tallahassee. And the husband refused. He was a Harvard professor. He was accomplished. He had a career. He was a lecturer. He was building his career. His wife either was or is trying to be an immigration attorney. Get it? Get what side of the fence they're on? Bring Kilmar back. That side of the fence. Okay? But anyway, the long and the short of it is the court would not allow the children to be uprooted and removed from their father. And that made his mother-in-law very, very angry. Many stories are in between, but the long and the short of it is, one day, Dan Markel was in his car, in his garage, at his home, on the phone with a friend. Another vehicle pulled up in his driveway behind him. The passenger got out, walked over to his window, and SHOT'd him 2 times in the face. And his life was over. Cruella, his mother-in-law, got her wish. Within a very short period, I think a week, maybe 2 weeks, they changed the boys' names from Markel to Adelson and moved them to Miami. Didn't even go to the father's funeral. Didn't even take their sons to the father's funeral. Nobody got arrested. This was 11 years ago. Lawyer Lee does not get into politics, and she's wise. She's wise. She keeps her program to matters of law. And she has a very good chat group. They don't use foul language or nothing like that. She's got a thing she put up, I found out about, called Nightbot. It's a feature in Utisl that I might employ. Nightbot will take out automatically offensive words or all cap yelling, stuff like that. And the creator doesn't have to do anything. I watched it in action. But anyway, I remember the politics behind this. And for the purposes of today's trial, it was neither here or there. But for the purposes of our society and our body politic, it's worth remembering that years ago, before Donald Trump got elected, before Ron DeSantis came to Florida, there was a lead prosecutor in Florida who refused to arrest anybody in the Adelson family because he claimed that they could sue the state of Florida. The prosecutors and law enforcement had corralled and arrested and then convicted the two hitmen, the driver and the one who actually committed the deed. And they even convicted a young lady who was a go-between. Her name was Catherine Magbuana. I don't know how you exactly pronounce it. She's serving life. The one who pulled the trigger, he's serving life. The one who drove the car, oh, he got 20 years because he flipped on everybody. But even after all that and corroborating evidence pointing to the financiers and the brain trust that hired these people, the Adelsons, the prosecutor refused, claimed there wasn't enough to prosecute him and that the Adelsons could sue the state of Florida, so it's best to leave them alone. That's what you call part of the big club. When you have political contacts, social contacts, when you're worth multi-millions of dollars, and you have friends that are in the big club, you can have a state prosecutor tell everybody publicly, oh, that's a conspiracy. We can't go on that because they'll sue the state. And they walked around free with that man's children for years. Wiped out his existence. And the parents of the young man who lost his life were excluded, except to a very, very minimal degree. They had to bury their son by themselves. So after the young lady handling the money, hi, Sparky. Lucky, nice to see you. Got her medicine, got convicted. They went after the son of Ma Adelson, Ma Barker Adelson, and convicted him in 2023. They arrested Ma Barker Adelson after his conviction. She decided to go to Vietnam. A one-way ticket. Emergency visa. That's where they arrested her. On the causeway to getting on to the plane to go to Vietnam, a non-extradition country with a one-way ticket. That was about a year and a half ago. She's been sitting in a can for a year and a half. This elegant, socialite, politically connected individual, the jury took, including eating dinner, 3 hours and I think 20 minutes, unanimous. 3 counts first degree murder, conspiracy to commit first degree murder, and whatever the third count was. Brutal, swift. I remember Ron DeSantis firing some prosecutors, don't you? Some of them were, there was more than one. I'm wondering, hi, hilarious dude. Thank you for going by buy me a coffee the other night. I appreciate it. And Miss Minder Sue goes there too, I know. I've seen a couple people in there. Wayne's in here and done it, and so is a lot of people. Were any of these prosecutors involved? To do a deep dive, I would have to look at old newspaper clippings. But Justin and Ivan, did I say hi to you guys? I don't remember. My brain's all fogged up because I'm on another. Pappy Two Bears goes there too. Anyway, the big club. It's got a siren song to it where people think they're above the law. They think they're the ones in control. The media feeds into that perception. Government hiring practices. If you want to be part of the big club and toe the line with crooked politicians, if you want to go along, get along, if you want to have one hand wash the other, welcome to the club. And now they see it's too late. Their lives are ruined. There's going to be another arrest, maybe two more arrests. But to think that people get it in their heads that they can do something this egregious and this horrible just because of their earthly wants, their desire to dominate and call the shots. If you don't agree with me, I'll have you snuffed out. And nobody can touch me because I got friends. That's one of the levers of the big club. I watched her husband, who may be charged or may not be charged, I don't know. And in the gallery behind him, you know how they sit in court? The defendants, people sit on one side, the prosecution on the other side. I got a still shot of a couple of people sitting behind him. Half the head shaved on this woman, the other half looking like a circus Olay. You going to tell me how they vote? One of the witnesses for Ma Barker Adelson looked like Maud. Remember Maud from All in the Family? I know she played the Golden Girls, but that was a different role. Her claim to fame before that was being a big mouthy liberal woman. And that's what she was. Well, Maud testified for Ma Barker Adelson. And dancing around getting caught in a lie, too. But that's another story. But do you think this is a singular story? That's exactly right, Miss Minder Sue. Two-tier justice system. How many people over the decades didn't get charged because they had strings to pull with a prosecutor? This isn't the only one. But it's a start. It's a start. Yes, Hilarious. He was a Harvard graduate and a professor. He taught law. Oh, Miss Miller says, she said, boom, Hilarious. I mean, yeah, boom, Maricellus. Yes, Kim. Hi, how you doing? The estranged son. There was so much drama in this trial. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Her estranged son, broken-hearted, testified against his mother. He didn't testify against her. He testified for the truth. And it just so happened that the truth was not with his mother. His name was Robert. The Buy Me a Coffee page had an error when I tried the link. Oh, I might not have typed it in right. I may not have typed it in right. I'll have to go back and reset it. All my other videos have the correct link. See, it's the other thing about this platform. I have to type in everything before I can go live. But I didn't want to take a chance on going up on the picture show and getting kicked off every 5 minutes and having to log back in and get back on and try to keep my train of thought. Because like I said, this morning, boom, I get hit between the eyes with a warning. The next time I cross their line, where who knows where that line is, I get taken down for a week. And then I watched one of the most compelling court cases. You could not find a story like this in Hollywood. Yeah, I'll just see if that link's in there properly. I don't know. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cough, and I tried to hit the mute button. I got a little frog in my throat, but anyway. So anyway, to me, it is a symbol where at least in Florida, this type of corruption and back scratching is at an end. And Chicago doesn't want to go through the same thing because, my God, we will have to build another alligator Alcatraz. We start getting the crooked politicians out of Chicago. The other thing I was pointing out was what I called a mass arrest in New York, Albany, New York. I mean, yeah. They put the address right after the handcuff videos. They cleaned out that entire office of criminals, and it's just the start. Oh, by the way, we can all together wish happy birthday. Somebody turned 95 years old today. Who knows, without Googling, who turned 95 years old today? Somebody, I guarantee you, everybody in the chats knows, has heard of, or watched one of their movies. Yes, hilarious. I watched it. I spent 11 hours watching the trial because I do not want to go on my prejudices or my past notions. I actually want to hear what an accused person has to say for themselves. I want everybody to get a fair hearing, due process. And if you're an illegal alien, verifying that you're here illegally, that you're 14 or older and don't belong in this country, that is all the process you are due. Sissy, sharp as a tack. Kim got it. Rain got it first, really. Let's see. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. Happy birthday to Clint Eastwood. Miss Minzu said happy birthday, whoever it is. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, 95 years old. Wow. Makes you feel your age, doesn't it? When we see these icons. How many times have we seen the movie with the music playing and Good, Bad, and Ugly, Dirty Harry? Department of Justice. Department of Justice is weighing whether or not. Now, I don't know about this one, folks. Reviewing possible steps to restrict firearms access for individuals diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Officials familiar with the internal discussions told Newsmax exclusively Thursday. What's your opinion on that, folks? Someone can lose their right to keep and bear arms if they've been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. You all know what I think of that, especially people that push it on kids. Yes, Adelson, it is a slippery slope. I think there should be other issues that they review, because usually it's kind of like if you have a fever, chances are you're going to sweat. There's usually other things tied to it. And in my book, if they ain't felonies, they should be felonies. Like talking to children in a lewd and lascivious manner, psychologically abusing children by making them question their identity when they're otherwise a normal, healthy child. To me, that's abusive. So you convict people of stuff like that, a felony, and then they can't have one anyway. But if they're running around a hairy-legged man with a dress on, like Klinger, no, you don't take away their right. So yeah, it's a slippery slope. We're going to keep an eye on that. But the Democrat Party, well, we don't want to get like the Democrat Party and paint with a broad brush by what we perceive to be dangerous things. But the Democrat Party's crumbling. Clandestine said in just the past week, the Dems and mainstream media have sided with violent criminals in Democrat cities, Venezuelan narco-terrorists, trans school pew-pewers, and big pharma. Did you see the little showdown between RFK and Pocahontas today? Pocahontas was, you're taking away people's safety. People are going to lose their lives. He said, look, I know you took $850,000 from Big Pharma. She kept trying to talk over him, but the bottom line is she's bought and paid for. If you don't recognize that these things are a problem, you're part of the problem. And I'm bringing it up. The Adelson thing is because, like I said, in the gallery and the people supporting this woman, they all look like part of the rainbow crowd or rainbow sympathizer, Marxists basically. They get theirs. I got mine. Then they want to tell everybody else how to live. And that's exactly why that man lost his life. Because she wanted to tell him how he was going to live, where he was going to live. That he had no importance. She was the number one. She couldn't control him. That's why he lost his life. And I bet you dollars to donuts what side of the political fence somebody like her is on. The people I saw in the gallery behind her husband, I could see them at these stupid rallies singing them stupid songs like I played last night. We went down to the rich man's house and took back what was ours, took back our dignity. All that cornball garbage. Trump's going into Chicago. Trump's going into Chicago. He said it's not a question of if, it's when. Oh, Trump posted a lot of stuff today. He posted a bomber with the jets on his wingtips going overhead after he put up a picture of him and Putin looking at the sky. He's giving a little hint to Vladimir Putin. But anyway, Clandestine went on to say, here we go. Trump is about to make his move on Chicago. Fox News reporting that ICE are preparing to move into Chicago for a, quote, immigration crackdown. This whole thing is not just about crime. It's also about targeting sanctuary cities and uprooting Democrat election fraud. This is why the Dems have been fighting tooth and nail to prevent Trump from deploying National Guard and federal law enforcement to Chicago and other Democrat-run cities because they know Trump is about to begin mass deportations in, quote, sanctuary cities. That is one of the pillars that hold them up, is the presence of foreign entities. This is an existential threat to the Dems' power. Without their millions of illegals voting, they will never win a presidential election again. Some purple-blue states are about to become red states. We are watching Trump destroy the deep state in real time, and the Democrat Party is staring at extinction. And I concur. I concur. J.D. Vance posted, when I see all these senators trying to lecture and gotcha Bobby Kennedy today, all I can think is you support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormone, quote, therapies for children, mutilating our kids and enriching Big Pharma. You're full of SH and that's it. And everyone knows it. That was from J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States. So if I said things that people who push the button and you Tizzle disagree with, that's tough. Because I'm allowed to repeat proclamations, declarations, and posts made by the President of the United States and the Vice President of the United States. Otherwise, you're not just censoring me, you're censoring them. Money to burn, how you doing? So it's plump and plain. Are you with these maniacs or not? Eric Dougherty put up, new Dearborn Heights, Michigan has just become the first place in the entire United States to put Arabic on their police patch. Michigan is screwed. That's what he said. Dearborn is screwed. Correction. Dearborn is screwed. The first place in the entire United States to put Arabic on their police patch. And that is odd because a senator from Virginia, Tim Kaine, I got a clip of him saying, if people believe the laws don't come from government and they claim that laws come from God, they're in the same boat as Shia Muslims and other religions. And we are not supposed to be a religious country. In effect, what he's saying. He said the laws do not come from God. Never mind that the Declaration of Independence says we are endowed with inalienable rights from our Creator, some of which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Inalienable rights. That means you can't be separated from those rights. And they come from God, not from you, Tim Kaine. But that was an interesting reference to Shia religion. At the same time, they're putting Arabic on police patches in Dearborn. Citizen Free Press put up, police divers find nearly 100 stolen cars submerged in the Chicago River. And they're not finished. They found at least 100 cars submerged. How many do you think they're going to find with human remains that have never been solved? People don't know the extent of this corruption. Trump put up another Rosie O'Donnell post, and maybe he's giving a warning to others. But this one's about Rosie. It's a picture of her. Her face is very large. Miss Piggy type picture, and he said, as previously mentioned, we are giving serious thought to take away Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. She is not a great American and is, in my opinion, incapable of being so. So he wants to they're considering taking Rosie's citizenship. There's mechanisms for that. Mechanism for somebody who goes into foreign soil, takes up residence, and behaves in a way that's hostile to their own country. Trump played a clip of Stephen Miller where he said criminals in Democrat-run cities, are never kept in jail. A small percentage of the population that are serial criminal killers, gangbangers, hoodlums, and drug dealers that are left to roam free and shoot and maim and RA and then PE and mug with impunity. What's going on now? Money to burn. Well, all right, you're getting theological. Okay. Uh, United States Attorney Donald Trump posted this. Gene Pirro, you are looking at the largest seizure of precursor chemicals to manufacture methamphetamine in U.S. history. And she's in a video walking amongst these big, huge containers and bales while she's saying this. China was sending over 700,000 pounds on the high seas to the Sinaloa cartel before my office seized them because President Trump and Secretary Rubio declared the Sinaloa cartel a foreign terrorist organization. We can now strike faster and hit harder. So that was an operation over and above the obliteration of the drug smuggling boat that Trump showed us the other day, where 11 of these unlawful combatants were erased from the face of the earth. And there's going to be more of it coming. And he took time out of his day around lunchtime, I guess, to fire a shot across John Bolton's bow. Is this where they do a fake out? Where they got everybody looking at John Bolton. Oh my God, is he going to be arrested? Is he going to be arrested? And while everybody's looking at John Bolton, they'll snatch up somebody else. Ha 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 ha. I explained my picture situation, Gino, at the beginning of the video. This is a different format, and it's a format that I generally can stream on without being kicked out of Utizzle or having my screen freeze or my voice disappear, and I'm talking to myself and nobody can hear me. I wasn't going to broadcast today. I said it last night. I probably wouldn't broadcast today, but I got my video taken down, and I was given a warning, and on razor's edge of getting suspended for a week on this platform. And at the same time, one of the most historic murder cases in U.S. history was tried today, and the defendant was rightfully, brutally, and swiftly found guilty. So I was bristled up and I said, I'm going live. So here I am. John Bolton cashed in and America paid the price. This is what Donald Trump posted, an article from The Hill. John Bolton, an occasional contributor to The Hill, may well wind up in prison too if investigators uncover evidence. So, do you think John Bolton's sleeping good with the President of the United States reposting articles like that? Can you imagine how many people are losing sleep right now? Over 100,000 Americans rushed to join Trump's massive ICE hiring spree nationwide. 2 weeks, 2 weeks into the announcement that Trump administration's push to hire 10,000 new immigration enforcement agents, they received over 100,000 applications. So you got a 1 in 10 chance. You got a 1 in 10 chance if you put your application in. Like I said, if I was younger, I'd be on that. like a monkey on a banana. So Trump put up a lot of posts, a lot of posts. I got copies of some of them. Some of them were about New Jersey's uh, gas hike, 13%, electric gone up 11.5% almost. People are sucking wind in New Jersey's making sure Trump's making sure they know the Democrats thank them and their stupid ass windmills. NFL Washington Redskins should restore its name and logo, says the family of a Blackfeet chief, John Two Guns White Calf, is deeply grateful to President Trump for his bold calls to bring back the Washington Redskins and expose racial injustice. Yeah. Hi, Roland. Trump put up an interesting post about Judge Engoron. Got a picture of Judge Engoron and Letitia James. Oh, Debbie said they want the list. They're going to get the list. The Epstein list, that's all they're crying about. They got nothing else. And when I got taken down, what was the last words I said? People always want what they can't have. And Trump's playing the keep away game. I told y'all about that as a sales tactic. It's called the takeaway. I was in sales for all my life. Well, in a way, we're all in sales. We sell ourselves to everybody every day. We put on our faces to meet the many faces. But I was a professional salespeople. I know how to read people. As a matter of fact, after the Adelson trial, closing arguments were finished, and the judge sent the jury back to deliberate. He chuckled at a couple of things attorneys were saying and doing. He said something and then he laughed. Levity. This was right after he sent the jury to deliberate at about 4:30 this afternoon. I super chatted Lawyer Lee. And if you watch her replay, you'll see my super chat. And I said the judge showed a rare bit of levity. He's in a good mood because he was watching the jury and was well pleased. In other words, he knew. The judge had been stern and firm 90% of this trial. When that jury went back, that judge knew she was done. She was going to get convicted. And that's exactly what I said at 4:30 this afternoon. In the regular chats, I said she'll be convicted by 8 o'clock tonight. They did a poll. Will she be convicted today? Will she be convicted tomorrow? Will she be convicted next week? Whatever it was. And I put today. And only 20% said today. I put in the regular chats by 8 o'clock tonight. Because I read that judge. You don't giggle and are happy and in a good mood after the jury goes to deliberate unless you know that justice is going to be done. And at 7:46, I believe, it was announced the jury had a verdict and she was guilty. I can read people. I can see signals. I grew up with it. Oh, y'all talking about smokes? 124 carton. Where's that, Miss Menderson? My word. You buy those little machines on eBay and make you some cigarettes. 5 cartons for 150. That's not bad. Not great, but it ain't bad. That's right, hilarious. Laws come from God. But anyway, I forgot what got me on the reading people. Uh, that I can read people. I read them like a daggone book. Hi, Ann. Are you going to bed already? Oh, you got to learn how to do it right, Miss Minsu. I'll have to do a instructional video on how to make them. Because if you use tobacco that is too stringy and wet, moist, it'll clog it up. Yeah, corncob pipe, Miss Minsu. That's the best thing to do. You can go out there and make one. Where in the heck did that? Here it is. Michael McHenry, Trump posted this. We have the worst attorney general in the United States who claims no one is above the law except her. She weaponized her office for personal vendetta against the president, and now a New York appeals court has just thrown out her $500 million civil fraud judgment. That's political theater, not justice. We can do better, and New York will. In New York, we will take back the Attorney General's office next year. Like I said, taking it back. And it shows a picture of creepy Judge Engoron and Letitia James. Wait a minute, what's going on in chats? Oh, okay, everybody's known this all along. Thank you. Much love. Okay, people are dropping out. Okay, well, I guess I can drop out too. Everybody knows everything, so no need to go on. Trial set for Judge Dugan. Judge Dugan. What am I going to predict about that? What's going to happen with Judge Dugan? I'm going to give you a little window into Donald Trump that you all have seen and many of you may remember. I don't want her to go to jail. You know, backdoor Dugan, the one who let the immigrant out. But she doesn't need to be a judge. A lot of people are saying, put her in jail. She's supposed to get 7 years or whatever for aiding and abetting. Well, she needs to be scared of doing that. But I think Donald Trump's keeping an eye on this Judge Dugan thing. And I'm going to remind y'all of a story. Do you remember when there was a commander of a battleship who, during the COVID crisis, made the idiotic decision to pull into port and let people get out off on leave? I forget which country. It was like Thailand or somewhere like that. And then reportedly people came down with the virus, right? And he broadcast it, basically letting the whole world know that this one battleship, maybe aircraft carrier, I don't remember, was out of commission. And Trump, this was during his first term. Trump said, look, you don't write a book about it. You don't broadcast that kind of stuff. What he did was wrong. They took his command of the ship. And a lot of hardliners in the administration wanted him to court martial that captain. And I think there were people that were trying to push Trump to do something draconian to make him appear brutal and to turn the military against him. I remember Donald Trump getting on television. It was Guam rain. Oh, you're probably right. I remember Trump getting on TV saying, look, there needs to be discipline here. What he did was wrong, but I do not want to destroy someone's life. I'm not going to destroy an entire career and destroy their life, but I want them disciplined. Remember that? I think the same tactics and philosophy is going to be used with Backdoor Dugan. She's going to get disciplined, but it's not going to destroy her life. But she's going to trial. The same time that Trump put that post out about John Bolton, Newsmax put up a post. The FBI seized multiple computers, 2 phones, and a binder referencing Allied strikes during its raid of former NSA John Bolton last month. So John Bolton's getting some hints. Rudy Giuliani is still broadcasting after his accident. You know, I won't tell y'all. I had a friend. Now, his veracity, whatever, told me a story. And, maybe he's writing a book. I don't know. About somebody wanted somebody gone. And arrangements were made, allegedly. So when this person's car came to a stop, a tractor trailer plowed into the vehicle. And that was the end of the person in the vehicle. The person driving the tractor trailer claimed he fell asleep. I guess this guy was writing some kind of spy novel or something, because he said the person driving the tractor trailer was paid to fall asleep, if you get my drift. So did that happen to Rudy? But anyway, Rudy's discussion this evening was about Trump renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War. And I also saw it reported by ABC and CBS and Newsmax. And we talked about that about a week ago. I'm going to have to find that clip. It's very short, where Mike Johnson says, I am a wartime speaker. And we've all heard Trump say many times, I'm a wartime president. Now the Department of Defense is being called the Department of War because we are and have been for some time at war. And if it comes out of Rudy Giuliani's broadcast, you know, he knows what he's talking about. I'm shocked at the few people that go on to his live streams. Somebody with that much inside knowledge and helped author the RICO Act, that there aren't more people paying attention to him. Was that driver an Illinois gal? No, it wasn't Illinois. It was a guy. It's about, oh gosh, between 25 and 30 years ago. Somebody who didn't have a lot of friends. I'll put it that way. Oh, I told you all about that tow truck that was towed that ice vehicle away. I showed you the clip where the agents were running after their vehicle. They caught the guy. They caught the guy that towed the ice vehicle. It's a short clip on, I mentioned his channel before. It's called Decoy Voice. Decoy Voice. And he's looking at 10 years. One of the reasons he's looking at so much time is because the officer's firearms were in the vehicle. So that's a fool around and find out moment. You guys know what I mean, right? That's right, Aracelis. They don't remember him. We remember him. Oh, I see what you're saying, Miss Bender Sue. No, this was 25, 30 years ago. The person who supposedly fell asleep, no. This was supposed to be an organized crime hit, is what the guy was telling me. But a lot of people are full of it. But then again, a lot of them aren't. But that was supposed to be a common tactic. Put somebody in a position where they're vulnerable on the road and have somebody come in from behind claiming they fell asleep. And the person gets, reckless driving or negligent driving, or they might go to jail for a year or two. And what do they get? 20 grand? That's just, like I say, somebody yapping. Take it for what it's worth. But I do know that the person did not live. And that's exactly how they expired. So anyway, folks. So my point is that I started out earlier is that they can review my videos, and if they feel that if I played that clip of John Brennan calling Trump a traitor, all they got to do is say I'm putting out misinformation, pretending like that was a recent quote from John Brennan. I don't give a damn if he said it this year or 5 years ago or during Trump's first presidency. He said it. But I don't make the rules on Utizzle. And if they find another clip they take umbrage with, then I'm gone for a week, folks. I'm gone for a week. If that's the case, I will be broadcasting on Mountain Man Speaks, all one word, on Rumble. And I will upload this video to Rumble after it gets processed through YouTube. Sometimes it takes a day. And then I have to sit for an hour and a half uploading it to Rumble. Yeah, it's not beyond reality, Rain. Oh, unfortunately, I've heard many different methods that I know are factual. I'm just saying about this particular individual I was being told about. I don't know if the guy was full of baloney or not, but I know that stuff. They're crafty, man. They're crafty. All right, folks. I don't know if I'm broadcasting tomorrow night or not. If you get a chance, if you're interested in the law, this ongoing saga with the Adelsons, the next one they think may get arrested is the high maintenance, spoiled brat daughter who was overly controlled by her mother. Did she have anything to do with her ex-husband losing his life? Did she know about it? Was she part of the conspiracy? We'll find out. My prediction was she would be arrested within 2 weeks of her mother's conviction, is what I said. So the clock starts today. Will Wendy Adelson be arrested within 2 weeks? I was right about Donna Adelson, that she would be convicted before 8 p.m. tonight. And I was right. I knew the judge was in a good mood for a reason. I knew that he knew the jury had made up their mind. He's watching these people's faces while they're listening to the defense. And you can tell when people sit there and look like they smell something bad, their nose wrinkles ever so slightly. Or they have a look like they have a bad taste in their mouth, even when they try to smile. Judges can read that, and I could read the judge. That's what he saw. And I knew she was cooked. But I went through the whole thing, and I watched her, Lawyer Lee, go to her broadcast she did today. She will do a short, like 40-minute, maybe 50-minute, 30-minute, somewhere in there, recap of the whole day. But if you want to watch the whole Georgia Kappelman was the prosecutor. She was fantastic. The defense attorney, I want to tell you all about this. The defense attorney, she's a very slightly built woman. I've seen more meat on the end of a fish hook. She wears oversized suits. She used to be a judge. You'll hear all this somewhere down the road, so I just might as well tell you now. She was removed from the bench for cause, and she can't be a judge. I don't know what the problem was. She was doing something wrong. She may have had an addiction. She may have had a psychological issue, or I don't know. But she was removed from her judgeship. But she was the defense attorney for Ma Barker Adelson. And she gave a closing statement. And I will say that with what she had to work with, she redeemed herself. She was feisty. She was forceful. She was clear, concise, but you can't polish a turd. I hate to use that phrase, but it's an old phrase. goes way back, but she sure did a good job trying. So you'll hear about her shortcomings, her failures in the past, whatever. But I will give people credit because, hey, people fall down. When they get back up, that's great. In life, we all fall down in life. So it's the getting back up part and learning. So anyway, you will see 2 closing arguments if you go to Lawyer Lee's channel that are top-notch lawyering for the prosecution and for the defense. And you will also, if you're not familiar with the case, it is the best way to learn the dynamics of the case from the time Dan Markel got murdered 11 years ago to the present, because the prosecutor does a synopsis and it is dramatic. It's, in my opinion, a historic trial. So, all right, folks, maybe I'll broadcast tonight. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. So, I didn't ask the whole time to hit the thumbs up. And I will check what's going on with the link in Buy Me a Coffee, which if you want to help the channel out, I have a link in the description. And I want to thank Hilarious too, Mike and Bev, Miss Menderson, Wayne. I'm talking about people helped out last week and this week too. I appreciate everybody. Happy Two Bears, Norm, and Gary, Shannon. I think Shannon's on Rumble. So anyway, you all have a great night, and I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me, listening to me vent. And if you want to see the video they took down on me, it's on Rumble under my channel, Mountain Man Speaks. It is the one with the thumbnail of Tim Walsh, who is a complete piece of you-know-what. That's the one they took down. That talks about Robert Mueller being in a facility for the rest of his life. Anyway, folks, once again, I want to thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you all have a great evening. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.